Hey guys, I'm back, and today we're going to learn how to build an Adirondack chair. What we're going to do is a couple different videos, step by step, of how to build this chair. You can see Luke here sitting in the chair. It's a real popular item. The particular chair we're building out today, we're going to build out of pine, and we're going to paint it. But you can build these chairs out of PVC, out of various different things. The components that you're going to need for it are you're going to need a 1x6 and a 1x4. This video is going to demonstrate how to cut the legs, these particular legs right here and right here. We're going to cut that out of a 1x6 using a template. We have all the templates that we need for our chair right here. The first template that we're going to cut looks like this, okay? And it is these legs right here again. So how we do this, if you've never traced a template before, the right thing to do is make sure that you have the straight edge against the straight edge, and you're minimizing the volume of material that you're going to use. You wouldn't set this out here and trace this side. We want to make sure it's tight up against the edge of our 1x6. So to trace it, we're going to sit it up there carefully. We're going to put a mark right here. We're going to trace it like so. It should go all the way to the top there. And like that, all right? So that's what the piece should look like. We're gonna use 2 of these for our project. So we're gonna take another one. We're gonna chop it off here with the miter box. We're gonna trace another one on here right away. The idea is we want both of these legs to be exactly the same, obviously. All right, so after we get them traced on our 1x6, our 1x6 is longer than our boards, we're gonna go get over here to the miter box and we're gonna cut it so that we can handle our piece to be cut with a jigsaw. So, take our miter box. I'm gonna cut it. Piece for one leg. I'm going to have another piece here for this second leg. Alright, again, this is made out of a 1x6. Okay, the other piece that we're going to use in this project is a 1x4. Alright, the 1x6 is, it's going to be the dress dimensions 3/4 by 5.5. Okay? Now, the next process is we need to cut this angle on the front, and we need to have it fairly accurate. So we're going to cut it on the miter box 22.5 degrees. We'll move this out of the way. Come over here. We're going to swing your miter box over here to 22.5 degrees. Lock it into place. We're going to cut the front edge of our chair. So we traced the template on here, so when we're cutting now, we want to cut the line is what we want to do. We don't have necessarily a waist side of the line. That would make our piece grow. So we're actually going to cut right on the black line this time since we traced it, because we want it to be the same dimension as our template. Now we go over here, we're going to take our jigsaw next, and we're going to cut out the rest of the curved areas. We're going to cut this out. We're going to cut this out. And then I like to use a circular saw here to get a nice straight cut, but you can also use a jigsaw if you're not real great with a circular saw. So to cut this, we're cutting this out with a jigsaw. We want to stay a little bit away from the line, okay, to give us some room to sand with our belt sander, all right? When we go to sand this, what we're going to do is we're going to take both of these after we cut them out with our jigsaw, and we're going to clamp both of these together. After they're cut in the shape that they need to be in, we're going to clamp them together and sand both of them at the same time. All right, rather than just, that way both of them are exactly the same. Okay? So to cut this, we're going to take our jigsaw, we're going to stay a bit away from the line. You don't really, this doesn't need, the only place I might put some relief cuts in this is maybe right in here. We may want some relief cuts. So with a project in pine like this, you don't need all that many relief cuts because the blade doesn't have a tendency to bind so much. Unless the curvature is real sharp, the radius is real sharp, then you need more relief cuts. So we're gonna come back here. Trim that side off, and then we're going to trim this side off. So it should look like this. And then I like to use the portable circular saw to make the last cut here. Excuse me, guys. Use a portable circular saw to make the last cut. You could also use a jigsaw, but anytime I'm making a straight cut, I like to use a circular saw or a table saw or something like that. When I'm making a curve cut, I use a jigsaw, right? But for a straight saw cut, I like to use a machine that'll make a straight cut. You could also use a bandsaw to make the curved cuts if you had one, but the jigsaw works just fine. They're cheaper and more readily available. So we'll go ahead and set the depth on our saw before we get started. And I'm going to set this aside and go ahead and cut. So your leg should look something like this. And the more accurate you've done it, the less sanding you have to do, right? So that's the whole goal in something like this, is we want to minimize our sanding time, which is going to come next. So this is one leg. After you get 2 legs done, go ahead and stop. All right, so those are the chair legs for the Adirondack chair that we're about to make. All right, thanks guys.